Hi, this is Sue, and I'm going to work through all of the worksheet for the practice final so that you are ready for tomorrow's final. For number 1, x to the 4th power, we know that any exponent means repeated multiplication. So I know that my answer is the base repeated 4 times, x times x times x, which gives me the answer C. Number 2, when I see x squared, y squared, again, I know that the exponent means repeated multiplication. So I know that the 2 is telling me that x will be repeated twice, x times x, and 2 is telling me that the y will be repeated twice, y times y, giving me the answer D. Number 3, I'm looking for which number is the closest to 0 on a number line. So if I wanted to draw a number line, here would be 0. I know that the numbers around it would be on the right side, 1 over here, and on the left side, negative 1. So if I were to look at all the numbers, I want to look for what's the closest. Now, negative 1.1 would be between the, after the negative 1, so I'd be over on this side, negative 1. So that's where A would be. Negative 1.15 would be close to A, but on the left side of it, and that would be B. And then C, negative 1 and 1/5 is the same as negative 1.2, and I get the 0.2 because I take 1/5 and I divide it. The number on the top goes in the box. So 1 goes in the box, 5 outside. I need to add a decimal and a 0, and so 10 divided by 5 is 0.2. And so negative 1.2, that would be over here next to B, but it's getting farther and farther away from the 0. Now 1 to the negative 5, remember that the negative exponent means that the 1 is going to become the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1 is going to be really 1 over 1. And that doesn't really change the 1 very much, unlike other numbers. So I would just take 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 5 times. So which is going to equal to 1. And 1 is right here. So the closest number that would be to 0 would be D, the 1. For number 4, it's asking me how many students are 12 years old. And the piece of information that they give me is that 2/3 of them are at least 12, and the them is the 72 students that are in that Ron's 7th grade class. So if I were to look at that like a pizza pie, then when I just look at this statement here, if I say 2/3 of them and I divide this pizza slice into 3 pieces, then I would take 2/3 of them. So I would take 2 of them, these 2. If I were to divide it into 6 pieces, then what would happen is I would be able to get 2/3 of them. So if I wanted 6 pieces, then I'd have to take 4 pieces to be 2/3 of the 6 pieces. So really, what I'm looking for here is 2/3 of the 72 students. So if I were to split up 72 students into 3 groups, and the reason I'm using 3 is because of this denominator. It's telling me to divide into 3 groups. That's why my pizza pie has 3 spaces. And in each group, I would have 24 students each because I divided. 72 divided by 3 is going to give me 24. And that might give you a clearer picture of what the 2/3. Remember, it means a fraction of an amount, a total. So the fraction of the total is the fraction of 72 students. So here actually my keyword of means multiply, which is why I actually would multiply 2/3 times 72. And if I multiply that fraction, I'm going to put a 1 down here, and I can cross multiply, giving me 1 and 24, and then 2 times 24 gives me 48. So I can work it out like that, or maybe the picture helps you to see that that's 2/3 of the 72 students, and that's how we would understand that question. Going back to the top, number 5, I know lots of things about the exponents, and all I need to know is that it's repeated multiplication. So from there, I'm going to expand. That way I can simplify after. So 2 to the 3rd means 2 times 2 times 2. A to the 3rd means A times A times A. B, 1B. And then I'm going to use my fraction bar in my denominator. I'm going to expand that out. 2 is just 2. A to the second power means A times A. And B to the third power means B times B times B. From here, when I simplify with fractions, I know that 2 divided by 2, that's what that means here, is the same as 1, uno. A divided by A, uno. A divided by A, uno. B divided by B, uno. What I have left would be my answer. 2 times 2 is 2 to the second, A in the numerator, and then in my denominator I have 2B, so B to the second. When I look at my answers, I definitely don't see B, C, and D being it because I should get a fraction. And the difference between A and B is that one has 2 here and another has 4. But I have 2 to the second. I know that 2 to the second means 2 times 2, which is really the same thing as 4, which is why my answer is B. Number 6, if y is 2 and then I have this expression, what would this expression equal to? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug and chug, which is really plug and PEMDAS. Okay, so I'm going to plug in PEMDAS. So I've got 3 parentheses 2 times 2 plus 1 close parentheses to the second power. Use a different color here. Okay, that 2 goes right into there, plug. Now I'm going to chug and use PEMDAS. I'm going to use the parentheses first. 2 times 2 plus 1 is 4 plus 1, which makes 5. Then I have the second power, and then a 3 out here. So that I did parentheses. Then I'm going to do exponents. Exponents is right here. 5 to the second power means 5 times 5, okay, which is 25. Then I'm going to multiply that with the 3. 3 times 25 gives me 75. C. Make sure you follow PEMDAS. That's the most important part. Number 7, again, I'm going to plug in PEMDAS. So FG minus 6 is going to give me 3 times 5 minus 6, close the parentheses, divided by 3, and then later subtract that by 3. So following PEMDAS, I'm going to do parentheses first. In the parentheses, I get 15 minus 6, which is the same as 9. Okay, so then I'm going to go from here. I'm going to get 9 divided by 3 minus 3. So I did parentheses. Then over here, I'm going to do division, because that's what the fraction bar means. And then lastly, I'm going to do S, the subtraction. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 minus 3 gives me 0. A. Number 8. Number 8 is tricky. The reason that it's tricky is because of this minus sign. And what we're going to do here is we're going to find y. And when we find y, what we're doing is friends and family. If you remember what friends and family is, it is, I'm actually going to work number 8 on a separate area because I don't have a lot of space here. So we're on number 8. Okay, and remember friends and family means like if Y was at the birthday party and they were the host, the birthday boy or birthday girl, then 4 would be the family member number because they're close to the Y, and then 6 would be the friend number. So as people exit the door and the equal sign is where the door is at, then we're going to see that family always leaves the last because they're closer. So friends go first. So we're going to do minus 6 from the 2, giving us negative 4. And then over here, this is the key part right here to keep the negative. Negative y over 4. And the family leaves. When the family leaves, this negative is going to go with the 4. So the negative is going to go with the 4. And we're going to do the inverse of division here. And we're going to do multiplication. So negative 4 times negative 4 gives me positive 16. And leaving only the host, the y. This is where I've isolated the y. And that's how I got my answer. Going back over here, D. Number 9, I'm looking for the decimal that is the same as 8 and 9/27. Anytime I see a fraction and I can simplify, I'm going to do that to make it easier. So I'm going to divide both numbers by 9, making my decimal 8 and 1/3. I know that definitely C won't be an answer because I don't want 0.33. I want 8 point something. I want 8 point, and I'm going to divide 1 and 3. Some of us already know what that decimal is, and you can get your answer from there. But for some of us, if we don't know how to take a fraction and change it into decimal, you need to make sure you divide. The fraction bar gives you the clue. So when you divide, the number on the top goes in the box. So just remember top box, like box top. Okay, so 1 goes in, 3 goes out. Point, add a decimal up here. I know that 3 can go into 10, that's 9 times. Subtract it, I get 1, add another 0, and I seem to be getting the same thing over and over, so I know that it's going to be 8.33, and then dot, 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 meaning it's B because the 3 keeps going on. You know, it would be more accurate if there was a repeating sign up here, but they chose not to do that for this question, so we know it's definitely not A or D. Number 10. The information here shows me that Holly is making cookies and she needs butter, milk, and flour. And then the question is asking how many cups of the butter, milk, and flour did she use in all. That's our keyword, all. All means a total, and total means addition. So I'm going to be adding all these fractions up. I'm going to add, when I write them in order here, when I add, because of the commutative property, I'm going to switch some numbers around in the commutative property so that I'm going to do my addition a little easier. I want to add the first number and the second number together. If I add 2 and 2/3 plus 1/3, that's going to give me 2 and 3/3. 2 and 3/3 is the same as 2 added with another 1 whole, which is really 3. So together these two make 3. And then all I have to do is add it with the 1 and 3/4. So if I add 3 plus 1 and 3/4, then I'm going to get my 4 and 3/4. So I just added the whole numbers up. There we go. Number 11. I have a decimal times 5, so I need to take 2.54, multiply it by 5, and I'm just going to line it to the right, and then multiply from there. And my decimal should go 1, 2 spaces, so I'm going to start here and go 1, 2, giving me 12.7. For number 12, I see exponents. Anytime I see exponents, I want to expand. Whatever I know about exponents, I'm going to do that. 3 to the second power means 3 times 3. 3 to the 7th power means 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then that would be, well, I definitely know it's not going to be a 9 because I don't see any 9s here. No 9s, no 6s. And I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 3s here. So 3 to the 9th power would be my answer. Number 13, when I'm dividing fractions, when I divide, I need to use I heart KFC. Just think that when somebody has a bucket of KFC, what you want to do is you want to share that bucket of chicken, don't you? Or you want someone else to share it with you. So that's how you know that when you divide, you need to do KFC. So here, I'm going to, I means improper. No numbers need to be changed to improper. K means to keep the first, keep first. F means flip second. And C means to change to multiplication. So keep the first, flip the second, and I'm going to change to multiplying. Here I'm able to see that this becomes 1 when I cancel 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 times 1, 1 is 1. For the rest of the worksheet, please watch the next video.